Here is the March roundup of all the ways I went off my budget, ruined my goals, and bought a bunch of crap I didn't need. I'm going to be so honest with you because I'm, one, behind on this video because we are doing our Purpose Driven Mom Summit right now. But also I was a little embarrassed. I thought, you made all these great goals. You said you were going to have this low spend year. And what did you do? None of it in March. Now here is what happened, why, and then I'll go over my empties at the end. I've been doing Project Pan for the 2025 where you use up your products before you buy new ones. And I made a couple rules for myself, right? My rules included thrifting before buying anything new, asking on Marketplace, looking around my house before I buy anything new, and not buying it unless I need it. Now, I also do some couponing, and with everything going on in the economy, I did want to stock up on a couple things, but I've told myself 3-month supply maximum is all I'm permitting. I don't know what happened in March. And here's the thing. It's not like we had the extra money. Part of this reason I did all this was, 1, for the environment. There's just so much stuff and we're ruining our planet. 2, finances. I want to save money. This year is just more expensive than normal with my daughter in competitive cheer. We have a lot of travel. So I'm trying to save money. I've got a kid going to college. It's just a lot. So I wanted to save money. And then also just to break the patterns of consumption because I'm susceptible to marketing. I'm getting all these external influences and really just getting back to the basics. I don't even know how it happened, but I did some analysis. And here's what I came up with. 1, I actually wound up going a little off budget. And I did put things on my credit card, but I paid them off automatically. So I have read the book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi, and it finally clicked in my head how to use credit card points. It has taken me 41 years to figure it out, right? But I figured it out. And the reason I had never used credit card points before was because I didn't trust myself. My husband and I had gotten into a lot of debt before we got married. We paid off $70,000, which included cash flowing our wedding, so paid off, but we also cash flowed our wedding during this time, credit cards, a timeshare, our vehicles. We got ourselves in a good spot before marriage. We still had student loans. We still had a couple other debts, our house, etc., but it was so much better. Well, then over the course of, we've been married 11 years this month, my husband's unemployed. I didn't lose my job, but I switched from teaching full-time to starting a business. We've had a lot of financial upheaval. Got back in debt, up and down, up and down. If you've ever been out of debt, my husband was out of work for almost a year. If you've ever been in that situation, you know how hard it is to get back on track. So because of that, we just were like, we're not getting any credit cards. We just did not want to do it. I did not trust myself with them. I didn't want to do it. And also our credit was not good. So we weren't able to really get too many. Well, now that our credit's better, we're able to get some cards. I just was scared to use my credit cards. But then I read this book and it was clicked in my head, just pay it off right away, right? And again, it's probably so simple to some of you, but I had never thought about it that way. I had never thought about how to use credit for good. And I trust myself finally to pay it off right away. And so I moved all my business purchases onto my credit card so I can earn points and then I get cash back. And I've been using that cash back to just pay off purchases to get this credit card down to 0 because, again, I had no debt and now I had a credit card that I want to pay off. And I am feeling really excited about getting off, out of all my debt. And so now that I trust myself, I started to put things on credit. So that's what happened. I was putting things on credit. I was paying it off right away, but I wasn't paying attention to my budget. The other thing I noticed was we use an app. It's just called Checkbook. It is, let me see, it's yellow. Let me see if I can find it here to show you which one it looks like. It's just called Checkbook. It's this yellow one right here. And it just keeps our basic stuff. But what I used to do and what was working really well for me was I was assigning myself budget categories. Personal care, I was putting money aside for co-pays, haircuts, food, groceries, gas. And we were sticking to an actual budget. Well, because we didn't have enough money to cover all the budgets for a couple pays in March, one in particular, we just put all the money in the general account and we're like, we'll use it as we need. Not the strategy for us, because use it as we need was not giving us limits. It was not giving us urgency. It was like, well, we'll just use it as we need the money. We'll just use it as we need the money. And then we just kept using it and didn't actually budget. So because of that, I found I spent a ton of money. Now, we also had things that I was planning for and didn't have the money for, so I had to pull from my Christmas savings. So we just went on a weekend trip. I'm going to tell you, it cost $900 for us to go away for this one weekend for cheer. And I was like, whew, did not expect it. I did not plan for it. I planned for $600. We went over budget again. We're going in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. we're going to Florida for another cheer. I'm planning my sister's baby shower, right? So that's costing me at least $1,000 there. I'm splitting it with my mom, but that's money. My oldest is going to college, going to Morehouse. Very exciting. So my husband is taking him to an accepted students weekend in 2 weeks. We had to get flights. Like, all of this stuff just came and we just wound up spending. And because I need to get stuff for the shower, I needed to get stuff for cheer, I needed to get all these things, I found myself just mindlessly spending. And what I realized was I wasn't tracking. Now, I did track every purchase. Every single purchase that we make goes into our app. I reconcile our bank every single day. So I was doing those things, but I was just spending to spend. Oh, my kids got invited to a birthday party. Let me just go and order something really quick so I can check it off my list. Instead of waiting, I wasn't intentional. And because I wasn't intentional about my money, we overspent. And that's okay. Now it's April 10th. So we're almost mid-April as I'm recording this. And I'm still in that overspending. I feel it, right? And I got to the point, what I realized was I was doing really well in January and February because I was tracking my daily spending on a calendar. Now, I track my spending on the app, like I mentioned, but what really helps me is like at a glance, okay? So to look at the month at a glance. And so I had a calendar that I was keeping where every day I was writing down how much we were spending because my goal was to have a no spend day once a week. I stopped doing that in March. And for no reason except I just didn't print it out by the first day of March, so I didn't get into the habit. That specifically is what I think threw me off, because if I was tracking it that way and I was looking at it and I realized, oh, I haven't had a no spend month, I would just pause a little. I'd be more intentional. I would say, okay, I'm not spending money today. That can wait till tomorrow. Because now I'm in this habit on this hamster wheel of spending money every single day. And I want to cut that. So I realized that when I was like getting ready for this episode today to give you my March recap, that's what I really think it was. I wasn't being intentional about where I was spending my money, and I was spending money every single day. I wound up buying a couple things off the TikTok shop. I wound up purchasing things like I didn't need. I got myself a new bathing suit. Like, I have plenty of bathing suits, right? I realized I got into a place of consumerism. And part of my goal this year is to cut the consumerism. I made a couple decisions on big stuff. So that was also something you can see if you're watching here, my grays, right? They're coming in. I am getting my hair colored next week. But I have made the decision that I'm not going to get my eyebrows done anymore. I have them microbladed. So like this whole thing, these are fake. These are not real. But once a year I go and I get them touched up. It's a face tattoo essentially. And it costs about $400. Once a year I go and I do them. And I love it because, like I said, this whole tail I don't have. It doesn't grow in. I need something there. And this way I don't have to like pencil them in. I've enjoyed it, but I realized that because I needed the money for the shower in Florida, I was like, I'm just not going to do it. And now, normally I go in March for my appointment. So it's a month after my year annual, and they still look okay. We're still hanging over here. So right, I could breathe. I was like, you know what? If I want to go get them again, I can get them again. But honestly, I might never go back and get them again. The other decision I've made, and this one's not by choice, I'm just going to be so honest with you, is my Botox. Now, it is what it is. It's a wrinkle, but it bothers me. And I haven't had Botox since September now, so it's completely gone from my face. Botox costs between $400 and $500 every 3 to 4 months. And it was a decision I made to pause financially, and I haven't gotten back on it. And again, it's been since September. So if I get to a full year and I haven't done it, I may never do it again. But it was one of those where I went through March and I thought, what are some big purchases I want to say no to just get back on track? So other things for March was that I was able to still contribute to my Roth IRA. I'm trying to max it out this year. I don't know if I'll get there, but that's my goal. It is a hard and scary time. I texted my brother-in-law and I was like, tell me something that will remind me that it's okay to just contribute money right now to my Roth, right, into the stock market. He said, just do it. Just do it. Just do it. So I don't put a ton, but I'm pretty proud of myself because, and I'm going to be so honest, I didn't know anything about stock market. I didn't know anything about investing. I'd never done it before, right? At 40 years old. And so my goal was in January, I was like, let me put $1 a day. And I talked to my brother-in-law, very knowledgeable. He helped me go through which funds to buy. I use Vanguard, which funds to buy, where to put it. And all I had was $30. So I was like, I'm going to put $1 a day in February. And then I'm going to double that in January. Then I doubled it in March. And then then it went to $100 in Oh, no, wait. It was 30, 60, 100, and then I just put 150 in for April. And I'm slowly doing something. And so I feel really good about that. And I also feel good about my tithes because we hadn't been tithing like we used to. And so my goal is whatever I put into my IRA, I will match and I will put, and we will tithe till we get to our 10%. So while I didn't hit a lot of my financial goals, I wasn't able to put anything extra into our savings. I spent more than I planned. I do feel like I had some good takeaways. So now here's the challenge, right? We're going into the second half of April. We have our summit, which is our biggest event of the year. So I tend to get a heavier paycheck than normal. I need to decide what I do with this money, but also we're going on a trip in like 2 weeks and I need to make sure we have enough money saved for this trip. And so I feel that I need to curb the consumerism. So what I'm actually going to start doing is I'm going to print out an April calendar. I actually have one somewhere. I just printed it out so I can start tracking my daily expenses every day. That really helps all right, let's talk supplements. I'm a supplement junkie. So I bought a bunch of stuff that I didn't need. No, I had 2 that I finished. One was a probiotic. One was a collagen. Would I buy them again if I had a coupon? Yes. Okay, type of thing. These are good things for me, but I don't even know why I buy them. Supplements, I just see them and I want them. I finished up a box of nails. So I found all these red aspen nails and some nail glue. I found like a lot, like 10 boxes that I had bought during COVID. And so I'm just trying to use them up. As you can see, my nails aren't done. I don't care about stuff like this really. And so maybe once a month I'll put them on. They last for a week. It's cute. And then I'm done with it. I wouldn't buy these again, but I'm just using them because I bought them and I want to use them at some point. So they're part of my project pan. Other things, we've got some makeup things here. This was my setting spray. I don't care. I'm not married to a setting spray. This is Neutrogena. It was fine. I bought whatever one was on sale. And then I had some body butter. I have a few lotions. I ran out of lotions, so I have a couple trial lotions that I had bought. Would I buy them again? I don't care about the brand. And then I have some face masks. Again, I used those. I had a travel eye contact solution. This one I do love. This is my lotion. This is the one I was like, I will buy this again. Olay, the 7-in-1 Total Effects moisturizer. This one I would buy again. These are my under eye patches. I use them every day. I will buy these again. And then this mascara is the Falsies Maybelline. This is the one I typically buy, but I'm loving, I can't remember. I think this is a Almay or a L'Oreal that I'm wearing now, and I like this one a lot. So I might buy it again. So these are my empties for March/April, since I kind of just put them all in one thing and we're 10 days in. Feels good to know that at least I'm using some of the stuff that I bought, but I need to cut the consumerism. So if you want to be on that challenge with me, drop it in the comments. We can be non-consumer consumer girls together. We can do it. We can do it, friends. Again, it's not bad to buy things, but when I have 8,000 other mini lotions floating around my house, I don't need to buy another one. I do not need to spend money on stuff that exists in my house. It's not good for my house. It's not good for my consumerism, and it's not good for the environment. All right, that's my March roundup. I will do another one, hopefully more timely in April. Have a wonderful day. Comment below if you're doing a similar challenge.